Hello and welcome to Horse Sense. I'm Mohit Lalvani and there's, well, a very exciting episode for you, especially over Chinese New Year. There's so much happening and it's our first ever Singapore-based CECF, the China Equine Cultural Festival 2015. Yes, they took the world to China. Now they brought China to Singapore and the rest of the world. It was a day that celebrated China and Singapore, a day that brought together two nations that were celebrating 50 years of diplomacy between themselves. It was also a day of Singapore's richest race, the day of the China Equine Cultural Festival 2015 in Singapore.
CECF initially conceived and started and have a successful race in 2013 in the heartland of China, horse culture country called a state called Inner Mongolia in Hohhot. And we had indeed international media, our horsemen came and supported the race. And in 2014 we moved to Yangtze Delta Region and we have a tremendous success in terms of participation for world CEOs over 200. And this year the IAC decided that we move CECF to global stage. Singapore has been chosen as our first inaugural stop and we are indeed very happy that it's happening today. The purpose that we want to see is that everybody and using and learning from what Singapore can offer, not just from the racing experience, from business platform, from in terms of cultural exchanges, auction, charity. I think these all are elements of CECF and so far I see it's very successfully played in Singapore.
It's been a wonderful journey. At times, like any journey, it's testing when you are doing things that others have not done before. There are always challenges. It's been less than 18 months since we held our first CECF. And when I look back time-wise, I was quite stunned to see that. To go from our first CECF in Hohhot, in Inner Mongolia, to our next event in October last year, which was the Yangtze Delta Region CECF, forgive me. That was exciting because you're based essentially, we went from the cultural centre of racing in Asia to essentially the engine room, the financial engine room of China in and around Shanghai. So we've moved from there and the next step, the next progression has been international. And Singapore was selected by our International Advisory Council for that purpose. We're here and it's exceedingly exciting. In a couple of minutes' time, we are going to have an owner or owners of the richest race in Singapore.
The action started off in the week before the big day and the first to arrive were the horses. For a race of such stature, it was no surprise that it saw a bevy of international horses from USA, France and Australia fly into Singapore to battle it out for the $3.05 million. Moved to the international quarantine stables at Kranji, it wasn't long before the horses hit the ground running and were at the track at Kranji for their morning workouts. The horses weren't the only ones who flew into Singapore for the big race. Joining them was a group of international racing media who were present on the turf before the crack of dawn to witness the action. The China Horse Club operates under a simple philosophy and promotes not just horse racing but also the arts and culture. And this philosophy was in evidence in its entirety on the night of the cocktail party and the charity auction at the Art Science Museum, the Marina Bay Sands, that saw the who's who of racing from around the world come together in aid of philanthropy. It wasn't a coincidence that the big race was timed for the fourth day of Chinese New Year. And kicking off on the second day, the Singapore Turf Club hosted the traditional Group 3 Fortune Bowl as it ushered in the Year of the Goat. 8 horses made their way to the parade ring for this contest to be run over 2,000 meters on the short course. Emperor's Banquet from Pat Shaw's yard was coming into this contest on the back of a second place finish in the Woodlands Classic Stakes over 2,000 meters on the turf. The field also included the Bruce Marsh-trained Knights Command, who had gotten the better of Emperor's Banquet in that race and was looking to retain that result. Emperor's Banquet would have Baron Voster to guide him home, while Manuel Nunez was on Knights Command. Joining the two was Good Back from Leslie Khoo's yard, who was coming to this contest on the back of a victory in the Open Benchmark 74 over 1600 meters on the Poly on the 9th of January. With the jockeys mounted and instructions in place, the horses made their way to the starting gate for the starter's call.
Gates are back and they're off in the Fortune Bowl. Out wide, Brilliant Deal and also Good Pack show good acceleration. Emperor's Banquet drops into third in the early stages. Good Pack goes through to the lead. Brilliant Deal hands up and will probably try and slot across in behind it. 3 lengths away to Emperor's Banquet as they leave the straight from Vergladica, then Alexandra Palace. They were followed by Dujardin as they race up towards the back straight. Then the favourite Knight's Command, who's back second to last, and last of all goes Martin. Into the back straight now, and they just hack along here behind Good Pack. Good Pack shows the way by a length and a half over Brilliant Deal. 2 lengths away in the field then to Emperor's Banquet, followed by Vergladica. Another 2.5 to Alexandra Palace. Next of all is Dujardin. Then Knight's Command, and Martin was last of all as they race their way down the back. Good Pack for Woodworth shows the way as they go down to the 1200 metres. He's out by a length and a half over Brilliant Deal in second. A length and a half then to Emperor's Banquet in the blue jacket, about to pull his way off the back of Brilliant Deal, and Vergladica just posted a little wider now. They were followed after a length and a half to Alexandra Palace, then Dujardin. Next of all over on the inside is Knight's Command, and last of all on the outer is Martin. They're turning down the side now, and they go to the final 800 metres, and Good Pack has made play from the outset in the Fortune Bowl. Good Pack leads by a length over Brilliant Deal. A length and 3/4 then to next of all Emperor's Banquet, followed by Dujardin improving along the inside from Alexandra Palace. Vergladica dropping back. Next of all then is Knight's Command. Might need a little bit of luck over on the inside, and back of the tail is Martin. They come to the top of the straight. Good Pack still full of running. He's out by a length and a quarter. Over in second, Brilliant Deal. Then Emperor's Banquet. Now Knight's Command into the clear. Quickly down the outside he comes, followed by Alexandra Palace. Brilliant Deal goes up alongside of Good Pack. Now Emperor's Banquet goes up and strikes the lead. Emperor's Banquet went to the front, coming out of his Knight's Command on the outside, but Emperor's Banquet for Vorster just in front. Knight's Command coming out of it. Emperor's Banquet. Emperor's Banquet, beautiful ride by Vorster, takes the Fortune Bowler.
He might be a little bit out of his depth, you know, he's a good handicapper. He's done very well for us. I mean, we didn't expect to do as well as this, but he's one of the type of horses, he's a trier, he's there, and I think with the weight turnover today, and down 5 kilos, I think that helped him.
Yeah, everything went well, you know. From the start I had the barrier 1, which was very much in my favour, and the pace was nice and strong, so I was able to get a nice position up third, and I just plodded along there through the run, just bided my time and going through the 600. You know, I just knew I had to get off the fence and get him going, get his stride going, and that was probably the winning move of the race, and I got him going with a nice lightweight, and he got a couple of lengths in the favourite, and that was ended up the winning move. Look, you always got to really get into them and get the most out of them, especially coming the last couple of metres towards the post. But my horse was very game in himself. He's got a big heart, and he dug down and he did it nicely when it needed to.
Good Pack jumped to the lead almost as soon as the horses were out of the gates and held on to his lead for most of the way. At the top of the straight, however, Emperor's Banquet started to shift gears and he drew alongside Good Pack even as Knight's Command challenged him on the outside. The two went head to head with Emperor's Banquet finally crossing the winning post less than half a length in front of Knight's Command, while Good Pack had to settle for third. Emperor's Banquet is a son of Holy Roman Emperor and has earned his connections nearly $750,000 with this win.
Well, on that note, it's time for a short break. We'll be back with lots more. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the CECF Singapore 2015. It's time for our first race. It's a Group 3. It's for 3-year-olds over 1400 meters. Let's take a look at the runners and riders.
The dawn of Sunday morning saw Singapore's biggest and most awaited race day. Louis Romanet, Tom Magnier and Professor Diaz were just some of the VIPs who had made their presence felt on the big day. The two feature races on the day were the Group 3 CECF Singapore Prestige Classic and the Group 1 CECF Singapore Cup. The Group 3 Singapore Prestige Classic saw 6 thoroughbreds line up at the starting gate for the contest to be run over 1400 meters on the turf. The Michael Clements-trained Kiwi Karma was coming into this contest on the back of a victory in Class 3 over 1200 meters and had Manuel Nunez on board once again. China Horse Club had 2 runners here, Wimbledon ridden by Corey Brown and A La Victory ridden by Craig Newitt. Wimbledon had run second last time out, while A La Victory had run third. The field also included the Mark Walker-trained Jimmy Rea, who at race time became the favourite, and that wasn't surprising considering his success record of 3 wins from just 4 starts. He had last won a Class 3 over 1200 metres on the turf on the 13th of February and would have Tommy Berry in the saddle. It wasn't long before the 7 runners left the parade ring and made their way to the starting gate to be set away.
Gates are back in the Prestige Classic, and away quickly is Kiwi Kama. The first to break the line and went to the lead over Wimbledon. Over on the inside, A La Carte getting a little bit keen in the early stages as Nunez tried to drop anchor on Kiwi Kama, and quickly Wimbledon joined it on the outside. Mexican Gal gets up to third, followed by A La Victory, Know Each Other and Jimmy Rea drop back to the rear about 6 lengths from the lead. They go down the back, about to turn off that straight now as they go to the 1,000 metres, and Wimbledon up on the outside of Kiwi Kama, just putting a genuine speed into the race. A gap of 2 lengths away to Mexican Girl, followed by A La Victory travelling along strongly, then Know Each Other, and 2 lengths away to Jimmy Rea at the rear. They come down the side now. They've got 650 metres to go, and Wimbledon worked across to a clear lead, led over Kiwi Kama, getting a little tight for room. Mexican Girl was next of all, followed by A La Victory. Jimmy Rea peels to the outside. He looks ominous at the top of the straight, and Know Each Other in behind them. They turn in, 420 metres to go, and out in the middle of the track, A La Victory the first to go up and join Wimbledon. Jimmy Rea is flat to the floorboards down the outside. Kiwi Kama getting a run through nearer the inside as A La Victory in front over Jimmy Rea, who's trying to get there, or the leader ducked in sharply. This is the chance for Jimmy Rea, and now Kiwi Kama through on the inside. Jimmy Rea hits the lead. Kiwi Kama, A La Victory still there. Kiwi Kama railed up, hit the front. Great performance from Kiwi Kama.
It was tightened a bit at the top of the straight as well. The leader came back on her and one closed her up on the outside. And so that was a bit of a concern turning for home. And then, yeah, at the 200 metre mark, it looked like the second horse was hanging on to her, and that was a bit of a concern as well. But she's really gutsy. She put her head down, and she ran out a strong winner.
What's next for her?
The first leg of the 3-year-old series.
She's very straightforward. She's a nice filly.
And take us through the race. You got into a bit of trouble when you were turning for home. Wimbledon just came across you a bit, and you just had to check your filly.
Yes, I was should hold my position, but I know Corey wants to lead, probably as a pacemaker, and I was happy to let him go. But since I let him cross me, Ellen come around to me, and then nowhere to go. And I don't want to use her because I know it's a long course, and just wait for the home straight. But I think they go a bit soon, and since I find room, and she's just coming too good for them.
Tarik, well done. What are you experiencing right now?
Exhilaration. She's such a beautiful horse. I'm so happy to be part of her. She's just amazing. Incredible horse.
So what are you thinking in the last 100 meters?
I was worried about that little bit over there. I thought she was going to get knocked over on the other side, but she's incredible. What a beautiful horse. I'm so excited.
With 200 to go, Kiwi Kama, Jimmy Rea and A La Victory were battling it out. For a moment it looked like A La Victory would get clear, but he suddenly hung in, losing his stride. Manuel Nunez made most of it as his filly gallantly responded, crossing the post with just a length spare over A La Victory, with Jimmy Rea in third. Kiwi Kama clocked a time of 1:23.16, and the daughter of Fast and Famous has taken her earnings to over $500,000 Singapore dollars with this victory.
Well, and top result there for Kiwi Kama. Your heart does go out to A La Victory, who just hung in at an all-important moment of this race. Well, the filly was brave, she battled home, and she took home the honours. We'll take a short break on that note and come back with our big one. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Horse Sense. Moving right along, it's time now for the Singapore CECF Cup. It's a Group 1 race over 1,800 metres, and we've got a top quality international field in the lineup.
After the running of the CECF Singapore Prestige Classic, it was time for the big race of the day. The Group 1 CECF Singapore Cup, the purse of over 3 million Singapore dollars, up for grabs. Even before the 8 horses entered the parade ring, the big moment was kicked off with an opening ceremony that ended with the traditional lion dance to celebrate Chinese New Year. While the field included a host of international superstar thoroughbreds, the jockeys carried a lot of weight as well. Champion jockeys from Australia, Singapore, the UK and France included one of the most dynamic jockeys on the turf, Christophe Soumillon. In the parade ring, the Christophe Clement trained Paranda enjoyed the maximum share of support from the markets. Wasn't surprising considering she is amongst the top-rated American stayers. She was coming into this race on the back of a victory in the Group 3 Mashua River Stakes on the 10th of January at Gulfstream Park, and Soumillon would be entrusted to guide her home. The Jason Warren trained Zululand had earlier won the Group 2 Henry Buck Sires produced stakes in March last year at Flemington in Australia. Since then he had been out of form, looked well with Nuet on board. The field also included the Nicholas Clement trained Mingzi Cosmos, who was coming into this contest having won the Group 3 Premier Sergio Cumani in Milan and would have champion jockey Manuel Nunes in her bid for victory here. Representing Singapore was Michael Friedman and China Horse Club's runner, the 2013 Gold Cup winner Trapias. With home advantage and Daryl Holland on his back, it wasn't surprising that he found some support as well.
It is Paranda. Gates are back and they're racing in the Cup. Mingzi Cosmos, one of the best to begin. Paranda out wide, showing some speed, and Summer Surprise will zoom through on the inside and take up the lead. My Option gets to fourth ahead of, next of all is Trapeus and Orbeck going up on the outside. They were followed by Zululand and Bajan back at the toe with the late scratching Ouvre at the gates. Down the back they go, and Huey Bowman has Summer Surprise on top, leading by a length and a half over the favourite Paranda. 2 lengths away to Mingzi Cosmos, another 2.5 then to My Option. They were followed up on the outside by Orbeck, the first one cutting the breeze outside of Trapeus. Zululand getting a little bit keen back in the pack, and Bajan at the rear. They go by the final 1100 metres now, and Summer Surprise appears to have settled very nicely in the front, shows out by a length and a quarter over Paranda in second, 3 lengths away to Mingzi Cosmos, another 2.5 then to My Option. Orbeck up on the outside of Trapeus, followed by Zululand second to last, and last of all is Bajan as they turn downside. They run towards the 800 metre mark now in the CECF Singapore Cup, and the front runner is Summer Surprise being raided along beautifully by Bowman. Out by a length over Paranda, stalking it as they come to the top of the straight. A gap away to Mingzi Cosmos, followed by My Option. Then came Orbeck about to go. Trapeus, Zululand still spots them a lead, and Bajan back at the tail. Summer Surprise is the leader, 420 metres to go, but Paranda strolled alongside, and now Mingzi Cosmos begins to run on strongly. Zululand is creeping up behind them, followed by My Option. 300 metres to go. Paranda over on the inside of Mingzi Cosmos. Zululand trying to pick up on the outside. Soumillon getting the best out of Paranda. Found a length now over Mingzi Cosmos. Zululand down the outside, but Paranda 2 good races away. The USA mare. Paranda wins it by 2.5.
I was very happy. Actually, if nobody was going to lead, I was even able to make the running. And when I saw the pace quite well, I just thought I'm going to sit second or third, and finally I get the perfect position. Nobody gave me any pressure around the race, and finally when I get in the home straight, she just keep accelerating all the time, and she gave me a great turn of foot at the 300 meters mark, and she won quite well.
That's right. And when you got challenged, you picked up your stick on her, asked her for more, and
because the trainer told me she's a bit one pace, and sometimes when she hits the front, she thinks everything is finished. But I was traveling so well, I know she was going to give me back some few lengths more. And finally, yeah, when I feel that filly, and when she saw her a neck from there, she just kept going.
Now, you mentioned to me yesterday that your last visit to Singapore wasn't very happy, but this time, surely, where does this stand with some of the big ones you won?
Listen, I'm very, very happy for sure. Today, it was just a 8 finally, because one horse was scratched. There was not too much pressure because I was riding a filly. I thought she was the best in the race. So with a good run and an easy filly like that, I was not very nervous, and I know everything will going well.
How important does winning a race like this mean?
It's very important. It's my second Group 1 winner this season, and when you start a season so well in Asia, you just hope keep going all the time. And I'm very proud to be here and to show to Singapore people that I'm also able to win over here, and not why in the future I will not be able to come back some more often and ride some other big races.
I think Singapore would love to have you back in China Horse Club. What can you say about this event?
Yeah, it's a great event. They make big efforts to realize this kind of races, and they deserve to have people involved more and more in their own club. So I hope in the future this will become something big, and I hope them all the best.
With 400 to go, Paranda travelled best of the lot and Christophe Soumillon asked his mare to go. When battled, a couple of smacks on her rump and serious urging from Soumillon got the mare to lengthen once again, finishing about 2.5 lengths ahead of Zululand with Mingzi Cosmos in third. Paranda is a daughter of English Channel and clocked a time of 1:48.53 to take home Singapore's richest race. The presentation ceremony thereafter was graced by the who's who of the afternoon.
Well, what a super result out there. The top mare Paranda wins it, and Christophe Soumillon, what a super return to Singapore. Well, it's time for us to go over to the presentation. We leave you with final pictures from the CECF Singapore 2015. Goodbye. Thank you for joining me. As always, may the horse be with you.
That wasn't the end, however, and the China Horse Club had planned a special closing ceremony with San Nikki and the glamorous Kit Chan providing a perfect end to a day that was full of action, glamour, entertainment, and some serious horse racing.